Welcome back to FAFO Fridays with the Ballistic Machinist, and today we're going to be testing our 9mm interceptors against winter clothing. Don't forget to head to ballisticmachinist.com and sign up for our newsletter to make sure that you stay up to date on all the newest releases, and don't forget, always shoot cool shit. Well, today we're going to be doing the winter clothing test with the Interceptors, and we've got an old shirt. I'm going to layer it up with 2 layers, and then I got a sweater that I'm going to layer up with 2 layers, and remember this is supposed to be an extreme winter clothing. And then I got an old pair of Carhartts that I'm going to get lined up on here before we take a shot with those. And then I've got an old Carhartt jacket. So the goal is to represent and to test what somebody would be wearing out working in the wintertime or in the oil fields. I recently had a conversation with a guy at a gun show, and he wanted to know how they would work in the oil field situation. So that's what we're going to do. Let me get this built up, and then we'll take a couple of shots. Well, I got all of our clothing lined up here, so we've got 2 layers of that polo, and then we got 2 layers of the sweater. That's going to represent like a thick hoodie or 2 smaller hoodies when you're layering up. I've got it lined up so that it's going to go through the front pocket on the Carhartt to represent if you're hitting in the chest area. And then I've got the Carhartt coat lined up so that it's going to go through the lining of the pocket and everything to try and get as much material in this shot as possible. Let's go ahead and drop that 9mm into it and see what it does. Alright, let's go pull it off and see what it did. Well, here we are. We got our entrance right here. Went through the pocket. Went through the front pocket of the Carhartt. Went through all of the clothes that we had stacked up here. We can dig down into this and get some light. And there we go. You can see it carried all the clothing into it, but it still went in and opened up perfectly. So the 9mm still do exactly what they're supposed to do, even through extreme heavy winter clothing. And look at that wound track in there. Let me dig it out and see what it looks like. Well, we dug out that 9mm, and that thing worked absolutely perfectly. Let's go see what we can do with the 380. Well, the 9mm went through all the layers of the Carhartt and everything else, and it performed perfectly. So I wanted to give the 380 a shot and see if it goes through the exact same amount of material, what it'll do, because a lot of people say 380 isn't good enough for carry in general, let alone carry against heavy winter clothing. I've moved up a little bit because if I was going to take shots with the 380, it would be a last resort effort. So let's see what the 380 out of the Kel-Tec does at point blank. Alright, let's take all that off and see what it did. Alrighty, well, this was our 9mm. This was our 380. Let's peel everything back and see what we did. And again, 9mm, 380 through those pockets on the Carhartt, through all the different layers of clothing like we did. And we come down here, and the sun's going down, so it's kind of hard to see, but you can see the wound track right there, and you can see the 380 still opened up through 2 layers of t-shirt, 2 layers of sweater, the front thickest part of a Carhartt pair of bibs, and a Carhartt coat. So the Ballistic Machinist 380 Interceptors are effective through heavy winter clothing, whether you have the 380s or the 9mm. Let's pull it out and take a look at both projectiles. Well, there you have it. The 9mm and the 380 Interceptors through heavy winter clothing, still expanding. The 9mm opened up perfect, just like it does every single time. The 380 didn't quite open up 100% to 90 degrees like the 9mm did, but that was also out of my 2.7-inch Kel-Tec that bleeds off 8% of the speed off of other pistols because of how wide their rifling is. And you can see, if we can get a comparison of these, you can see how wide the rifling band is. Let's get the sun. Why isn't this working? There we go. I think it's coming in. You can see the difference in the rifling on these two. That Kel-Tec just has massively wide rifling that takes away a lot of speed. But, anyways, they both still expanded just fine through the thing. They left definitely devastating wound tracks. So, they are a good choice for winter defense, no matter what your preference, 9mm or 380. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, always shoot cool shit.